Yes, come on. Excuse me, one moment, please. Would you please do that again? Once more, please. Oh, fantastic. Oh, it ain't often that a goatish cry of pure, unbridled passion is broadcast coast to coast. Yes, we're here looking down on a scene of unrivaled debauchery. We are here in the Limelight in the heart of Greenwich Village. And you all know how Greenwich Village is. Well, this is the heart of it. If you listen carefully, you can hear the sound of girdles creaking. If you listen even more carefully, you can hear the sound of them preparing in the kitchen 400 pounds of grapes. Oh, we've got a show for you tonight. We've got some Nubian handmaidens lined up. And we've got a lute player. Who wants to be the first volunteer? Oh, he's 8 years old. You don't know what you're asking for, kid. Oh, let me tell you, these are nervous times, you know. That tomorrow morning is Father's Day. And I was looking through the papers just about an hour and a half ago at the gifts they suggest for the new father. You know, it's a new style father. Have you seen some of those gifts in the New York Times? Now, that's an official paper, you know. They don't fool around. It's a serious paper. In fact, it says right on the front of their paper all the news that fits the print. How about that for a snotty slogan? You know, isn't it terrible? You do something big and they don't print it, you realize you're not fit. You know, I mean, can you imagine doing a fantastic crime and the Times doesn't cover it? All the news that fit the print, and they have this page, and it says suggestions for Father's Day. And I can't believe my eyes. The first suggestion, it shows this guy. Have you seen it? He's in profile. And it says, a fantastic gift for Father's Day. The new Father's Day hairnet. Oh, yes, it says, for him to put on after he's taken his shampoo and his hair has been set. It says, makes a fine Father's Day gift. Satisfaction guaranteed, your money back. I can see me giving a hairnet to my old man. I could just see it. I say, hey, Dad, it's Father's Day. Yeah, here it is. It says, listen, it's fantastic. It says, now new hair control for men with the new sports net. They don't quite get close enough to call it a hairnet yet. You know, it's called a sports net. And it says, yes, this new sports net, after you comb and dress your hair. Somehow I like the idea of this man. He's bald as a billiard ball. He laughed. No, I could just see this man in front of the mirror, you know, and he's combing his hair. And he gets it all set, you know, he sets it. Have you seen, they sell the spray stuff now, you know. He sprays it, you know, and he puts the little stuff, and then he puts his hairnet over it. Daddy is ready for bed. Can you see him lying there then 20 minutes later in the sack, see? And there is his wife next to him. And he says, don't move, you're rattling my... Don't move, baby. He says, please. Please now. He says, you're rattling my curlers. It's the new daddy. Now, wait a minute, in the same list, look at this. Here is a magnificent picture. This is from the New York Times. It is a description of the new father. And it's also a suggestion for Father's Day. It says, give your father the newest rage among executives. False eyelashes. Oh, isn't that sweet? Can't you see you sitting there in front of Mr. Bullard asking him for a raise? And he flutters his eyelashes at you. Those big old black eyelashes with just a little touch of shadow. You say, Mr. Bullard, I never knew you cared that way. He flutters his eyelashes. I can see the new daddy getting a set of eyelashes and a hairnet. And the final one, I think, is even more interesting. On the same page, magnificent Father's Day gift. It says, it says rare collector's item for Father's Day especially. either the most authentic reproductions we've ever seen or uncertified antiques. A heavy armor-breaking mace. A magnificent club with a spiked metal head. This may be your only opportunity to possess this most unusual collector's item. Makes a fine Father's Day gift, 14 pounds. Somehow, what a magnificent picture of the new father. His false eyelashes, his hairnet, and a mace. How about that for psychological insight? You know, it says it far more than Tennessee Williams can, France. Oh, yeah, can't you see him ready for bed? And he's wearing his Japanese silk kimono. You've seen them advertised in the New Yorker and that, you know, it's the shorty model, you know, with the velvet collar. And it's got his great big monogram all over here in gold and sequins, see? And it says, Daddy. Big sash, you know. He's got his hair all fixed for night, you know. He's put doo-doo or del-del or gel-gel or whoopee-whoopee or whatever they call that stuff, you know. Dippity-doo. You ever heard, isn't that one of the wildest commercials? You ever heard that guy that goes dippity-doo? Dippity-doo. Dippity-doo. And you know, he's got his dippity-doo in his hair. Some of that sounds obscene, doesn't it? Dippity-doo sounds like something that little dogs do or something. You know, it's terrible. Woo! And you know, there it is, you know, and he's getting ready for bed. It's Father's Day, you know, it's that evening, and the kids have given him all his gifts, and he's got his hair up, and he's got his false eyelashes on, and he's got his mace in his hand. And he says, gee, this has been a wonderful Father's Day. It's all there, you know, and today, I want to tell you, though, there's another world that runs concurrently with this. Nobody ever writes about it. Today, I am at Yankee Stadium. This is another scene entirely. Oh, yeah, it was one of those great moments, you know, that we all have in our lives. Here, in the last couple of years, every year, the New York Yankees and the Valentine's Beer Company, they invite the guys in town that are in radio and television to come and play a ball game at Yankee Stadium before the real game. Now, let me tell you how they do it. They do it right, see. Every guy is issued a uniform. And you come down into the Yankee dressing room. And you walk right in there, you know, you're at the Yankee dressing room, and you've got your little bag. It's got your gloves, your spiked shoes, and a few other things I can't talk about. Oh, yeah, you know, you come in there, and you'd be surprised what it does to you. You start walking down this runway, see, and there's a big sign. The first thing you see, maybe you've never even been down in the basement of Yankee Stadium, there's a sign that says, no women allowed past this point. And do they mean it? There's a cop sitting there, see, and he's got a mace. He's got a big chew of plug tobacco. You know, he's a big guy. He's sitting there. He's been there 40 years, and once in a while they go... And you walk past that, see, and all of a sudden you're in the other world. This is the world that you never see reported on in those little John Updike stories. Have you ever felt that John Updike, as a literary man, is weaving little doilies? Endless little doilies, you see. And suddenly you're in another world. You walk down this concrete, and you begin to smell sweat. You smell sweat, see. And then you smell Lifebuoy soap. You know that smell of Lifebuoy soap, you know? And you begin to smell leather. Thank you. And you begin to smell this leather smell, see? And as you get closer, there's a big green door. And it says, stay out. Yankee dressing room. And you walk right up to it. And the guy looks up at you and says, okay. What a feeling. You know, can you imagine that fantastic feeling? You're going in with a glove. You're not going in to interview anybody. You're going in, you got a glove, you know, spiked shoes. You walk in the Yankee dressing room, see? And here are all these cubicles. You never see a dressing room in a major league ballpark. Let me tell you how it looks. They've got all little phone booths with the front off. They're little cubicles. And over each phone booth is a name. Mantle. That's all it says. Then it says Merit. Then there's another one that says Ford. Here's one over here that says Stottlemyre. And you walk in there, got your bag, see? You're looking for your dressing room. Yeah. The guy says, you're number 4. You turn around. This is what happened to me today, see? He says, you're in number 4. I said, number 4. Okay. I walk around, and here it is. Number 4. And above it is a sign. He Moses, you're right, baby. Here's the only chick in town who knows. Give her a hand. Say it out loud. Who is it? No, say it again. Wally Moses. Now, do you know who Wally Moses is? I'll tell you who he is. He's the Yankee batting coach. And why is he the batting coach? He's the best, one of the best batters that ever played big league ball. And I remember as a little kid, he played on the White Sox. As a little kid, we used to go out there. My old man would hit me in the elbow, you know. I'm half asleep. I'm a little kid, you know, I'm sitting there snoozing off, and my gut is full of popcorn and junk, and I'm listening like, ooh, you know. You know how you get, after, you know, a doubleheader, the old man never misses a play. Entire doubleheader, he'd sit there and watch everything. Just like he's you know, like he's vibrating. All of a sudden, he hit me in the ribs. Say, wake up. Yeah, what's the matter? He says, wake up. He says, Wally Moses is up. There, way down there in that green, would be this tiny figure, built like a wedge. I'm not kidding, really. He's built just like, he's built a perfect hitter. He's built like this, see. He's got this heavy chest, short, thick neck, got that angry jaw. And you see it way down there. Now, I never saw a ball player any closer than 2.5 miles away. My old man, we used to sit in the general admission upper deck. And the White Sox had the longest park in the history of baseball. We're 600 miles out, see? We're just this side of the lake. And we'd see this guy down there, this little tiny character. You see this little figure. And the entire stands would get silent. He is the one ball player on the White Sox, outside of Luke Appling. And Luke Appling has batted 2 innings before, and here comes Wally up. And the crowd would get silent. And that's St. Louis Browns pitcher. He's already lost 22 this season. He's got 2 almost victories. 1 probable. Here he's standing, looking down. And Moses had this whip bat. He'd snap it, see. And I remember sitting there watching him. My old man says, look at him. He's one of the great batters of all time. Watch him. My dad always had this ambition that one day I would play the outfield for the White Sox. What a ridiculous ambition. Me play the outfield for the White Sox. And he'd say, watch him. Well, here today, I'm in this little cubicle, see? And it says Moses above it. And there's 2 stools they've placed. You know how they do it in the big leagues? It's fascinating to people who don't know. Every day, they put a little stool in the guy's dressing room. A little thing, see? And they put a clean uniform on it. It's all folded up. And on the top of the uniform is his hat. And there's his belt hanging. You know that? And then you see he's got this little shelf, and he's got all the little things that he lives with. You never imagine Mickey Mantle has got a half-empty bottle, you know, a half-empty bottle of this Aqua Velva. And it's kind of messy, see? Yeah, and you look over here, and Tom Tresh has got a whisk broom in his. Yeah, and I keep looking around, see, and over here, Hector Lopez, he's got hanging in his, he's got a coat. Just hanging there, see, and it's all pressed, and it's got a little sign that says, for sale. I'm telling you the truth, so help me. It says for sale, underneath it says special. It says contact H. Lopez, you know. Somehow I wanted to say, hey, Hector, how about a coat, you know? You know, and here they're all sitting around, and all the Yankees are in there, you know, there's about 15 or 20 of them there already, you know, and they're walking around, they got towels around them, they're going in and out of the shower. There I am, see? I've taken off my pants, you know, putting on my shirt. It's got a great big number on the back. And incidentally, in my shirt there was a little tag. It says Stottlemyre. I had Stottlemyre's shirt. I put the shirt on, you know. You'd be surprised what it does, you know. George Ade had an old slogan. Great statement. He says, get a good costume, and the part plays itself. And that's true. I put the suit on, you know, put the pants on, pull the hat down. There's a mirror hanging in Mr. Moses, his little cubicle. And all of a sudden, here's this man, comes walking around. He's got a towel around him, see? This guy walks in, he sits down in the cubicle right next to me. He sits down, he starts taking off his shower shoes, you know, and he's pulling on his socks. It's Wally Moses. Wally Moses, see? If my old man had lived to see this, he wouldn't have believed it. I'm in the same dressing room with Wally Moses, and we're both getting dressed for a ball game. He wouldn't have believed it. He's getting dressed, you know, and I finally had to say something, you know, and I look up to him and I say, that's all that came out. You know, up to this time, I've been feeling like Stottlemyre, and I'm walking around, and he looks over and he says, looks like a good day to me. And he says, I just was out. He says, it ain't going to rain. I says, yeah, ain't going to rain. There's a long pregnant pause, and he's trying to figure out who I am, see? I'm just another ball player, which is the greatest way to be, see? I'm sitting there, see? He keeps glancing over at me. He said, just got in from Kansas City? Oh, there is the moment when you have that fantastic moment of decision. To lie or not to lie. You know, I just had a feeling like saying, yeah, I just got off the train. Oh, boy, what a ball club, you know. Am I glad to get traded? You know, I wonder what he would have done. Peter says, well, let's go out and warm up. You know, I'm sitting there, and I finally had to say it, and I says, I'm dressed as a ball player, see? Remember that. I've got a suit with a big 73 on the back. Big Yankee hat. I'm feeling 9 feet tall. And here's this guy, this swarthy man sitting there. He's got rippling muscles. And even to this day, he's a legend. He is the guy that has taught many top hitters in the game today to hit. That means he can still hit, see? So I'm looking down at these shoulders. And I says to Wally, he says, yeah, kid. I says, can you give me some tips? He says, what's the trouble? I says, well, I'm stepping in the bucket. I says, no problem, kid. I says, you're Wally Moses, aren't you? He says, yeah. I says, well, I'm Gene Shepard. He says, oh, yeah, you played for Toledo, didn't you? You know, again, I'm up against that thing, see? And I says, no, I didn't. I play for this rotten radio station. And then he looks up at me and he says, oh, yeah. He says, I hear you at night. You're that nut. You know, and I says, well, yeah, Wally, I'm that nut. You know, and I says, well, Mr. Moses, do you mind if I call you Wally? He says, yeah, that's my name, kid. I says, well, Wally, when I was a kid, I used to sit out in left field in the upper deck at Comiskey Park. And when you would come to bat, my old man would holler, hey, Wally! And he always thought you could hear him. He says, I could. What a pair of lungs that lout had. You know, and I says, my old man would pass out if he knew that I'm sitting here talking to you. He thought you were the greatest hitter in the Western world. The pregnant pause. Wally says, well. You know, there's no question about it. He's got forearms like hams, you know. He's got these great big hands that are calloused. and they're covered with this pitch. You know that stuff they rub on bats? It's so covered in his hands that obviously his hands, he can't even get them clean anymore, you know? It's ground in. A real gladiator sitting there, see. I said, well, I said, gee, I can't tell you how it feels to be in the same dressing room. He says, yeah, I wish I'd turn on the air conditioning. You know, he's playing it real cool. And then I see across the dressing room, see, I see Mickey Mantle walking in. And Mantle's just got this little sport shirt, you know, a crummy sport shirt on. He's got these sort of wrinkled pants. You know, you never imagine Mickey Mantle's hair's all messed up, you know, and he walks in. And he's sort of real heavy, kind of sits down like this, you know. And he looks around, and that 1 minute, Mickey Mantle looking around the Yankee dressing room, can you imagine a guy who is any more at home in the office than this? Mantle looks around, you know, and I see Whitey Ford walk past. He's dragging a towel, see. And then I decide maybe what I better do is take a shower. I noticed all the real ball players are taking a shower before the game, see. So 10 minutes later, I'm in a shower now, see. The water's pouring down. And I see this head over here. There's a head bobbing around in the water's flying down all around him. And this guy says, hey, give me the towel. Hey, give me a towel. I got stuck in my eye. And I hand him the towel. I gave Whitey Ford his towel today. And he thought I was another ball player. You'd be surprised. They all look alike in the showers. Yeah, the water's flying and splashing, you know, and I'm down there, and Hector Lopez is hollering. I come out, and I'm putting the towel on. See, I'm playing like I'm just in from Kansas City. And 10 minutes later, I am out. Let me tell you this fantastic moment. I am out on the field now. And here it is, 22,000 people. There I've got the suit on. And I run down the runway. Do you know how they get in the runway from their dressing room? There's a long slanting runway, see? And they run down, and you hear these spikes, clack, 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 clack. And Joe Pepitone is combing his hair, you know. He really does, you know. He looks like a Brooklyn Hood, you know. He does, you know, and he's got big ducktails, you know. He comes... Yeah, he's fantastic. He really looks the way you think he looks when you're sitting in the stands. You know, he comes down, he says, hello, gang, how are you? I say, hi, Joe. And he says, hello, Mac. You know, he figures I'm another utility infielder. We run down there. And now I'm in the dugout, see. Hi, George. I'm in the Yankee dugout. And, you know, it's real flat. They look at it at about eye level. And the field, you can't see any of the field from the dugout. You know that? The whole field just sort of rises up and goes off into the distance like a big hill. And all you can really see from the dugout is the batter and the pitcher. Because they're on the top of the hill, see. And you see just a little edge of a head way out in the outfield, see. And I'm standing there looking out. And Phil Rizzuto comes over to me. He's the manager of our team, see. Phil Rizzuto, number 10. One of the greatest shortstops in the game. A great ball player. Phil comes up and he says, Shep, you're leading off. I'm leading off. Phil Rizzuto said to go up and hit. I select the lumber. You know, here's the lumber, you know, all those bats, see. I pick up a bat. I hit it down. I just put it back in. Phil says, you use a 34-incher, huh? I said, yeah. I snap it, see. Whip it with that clay on it, you know, out I go. Can you imagine that minute? Standing at home plate. There it is. It's the same, identical home plate that Babe Ruth stood at. No kidding, it is. It's the same home plate that Joe DiMaggio stood at. The same home plate that King Kong Keller. Isn't that a great name? Can't you imagine yourself on the phone? Hey, this is King. King who? Kong. King Kong Keller, yeah. King Kong Keller, all those great ball players. And I'm standing there seeing you. Look around, and the stadium sort of swallows you. Just fantastic. And you'd be surprised to know that when you're down on the field, you can't hear anything from the stands. It's like a general hum of an air conditioning, see. You just hear, wow, wow. And then the PA system says, and now, leading off, playing third base, number 73. And it echoes. Shepard, Number 73, Shepherd. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I kind of want to go over and say, will you please repeat that? You know? I don't think they heard it in right field. Try it. I get up to bat, you know, and I kick the dirt. And I can see this pitcher up there on the mound. He's looking down. The catcher's crouching. The umpire's crouching down over his shoulder. There's the windup, the pitch. And it comes sailing down. You know, that's a high mound. It seems to come down from above and down, see? It slants down high and outside. Ball one. I step out of the box. I give him that look down at chicken. Chicken. I kick the dirt a little bit, you know. I've seen a lot of TV. I know how to do it. I hitch myself upright, you know, that TV hitch, you know. You know, kick it a little bit. I dig in. You know. That's the Roger Maris shimmy. Oh, yeah, he's got that snotty little movement, see? He goes like this, see? Cocks that bat up, and I take this one cut. There's the windup, the pitch. That ball is coming in from the outside. It slants down. Shepherd swings, and it hits. I feel it, you know. You feel that solid hit. I see it going out over the pitcher's mound, out over second base, into center field. Hey! Shepherd is singled. Shepherd is singled, you know. And now I'm standing on first base, you know. I kick the dirt a little, spit. I look up at the stand, you know, that snotty look. You know, that runner that's just got the hit. I look over here to the left, you know, my left there, and here's the coach. He says, take a lead, you lout. I look back. There's a quick slam, bang, and Shepherd's caught off first. I am trapped in a rundown. Back and forth I go. Suddenly I dive into second base safe. And I look down in the dugout, and there sitting is Wally Moses. He's looking, see. Spits. 5 minutes later, I'm in the dugout. And I walk past Moses towards the water cooler. And Moses says, you always hit the right, huh? I says, yeah. He says, well, you're cutting your wrist down too low. He says, we'll work on it tomorrow before the Detroit game. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So let's hear it.